Yeah, I got engaged in Hawaii.
How about that? How about that?
Yeah, it happened.
I had no idea. I was scrolling Instagram, fucking saw what the fuck just happened.
I saw your reaction was wow, I believe, on Sam's.
Yeah. Wow.
And you instantly got thrown into the fucking heater.
Oh,
right
yeah,
there.
yeah. A lot
Instantly.
of tags from me. I got news for you. Not yet. Not yet.
You're next, pal.
I mean, you guys were living together for how long?
Long time.
I've only been like 3-4 months.
Yeah, we're 3 years.
Yeah, see? Plenty of time for old Tony.
Yeah, but your lady hopped in and was like,
Yeah, I don't know.
She was also drunk off her ass on tequila. So
Diggs is in Mexico. You look incredible, by the way. I hope you enjoyed
You
that.
as well.
The engagement was a pretty wild day.
Start with the helicopter. That helicopter looked amazing.
He also did it at Jurassic Park.
Hey, by the way, it was straight out of a movie. So going to Hawaii, by the way, that's a haul.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's halfway across the world.
I did not, literally, I did not know it was like it's further than a Europe trip.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I didn't even know that because Sam set up the flights. Sam set up it was basically like, I knew where we were going, but I didn't know until morning of everything that was involved. Right?
What was your in-flight entertainment?
So that's what So we get in the plane and we fly to Chicago, and then we go Chicago to Hawaii, Honolulu.
That's a long one.
Nice.
9 hours.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
I didn't know this was 9 hours though until we land in Chicago, and then I look at the next one. I'm like, oh, we're going right to Hawaii from here. She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my God. She's like, yeah, 8.5 hours. I'm like, holy fuck. So we get in there. We got the pods.
Yeah.
Good. I don't have a clue how anybody sits in the back for those flights. I have no idea.
How were those?
Pods are incredible. Yeah, absolutely incredible.
Like a bed?
It's like a bed, but it's 5'11" is what I learned. 5'11" of space. But it's just the TV accessibility is really what you're there for, and the ability to lay down. We took some pills, watched some shit. I watched I, Tonya on the way over there.
Oh, yeah. What do you think?
I think she deserves a lot more credit than I've given
Yes.
her. Her mom is one of the worst humans of all time.
Oh, is that the Tanya Harding one?
Yeah. Whenever
I
she
respect her game.
Well, whenever she was winning awards and shit like this, and I was like, why is anybody showing any love to Tanya Harding? Watched I, Tonya on the way over there. I'm like, I almost put out a tweet like, hey, I take back everything bad I said. She's lived a terrible, terrible life. I watched Bohemian Rhapsody.
How did you feel about it?
Good movie.
Great movie. Yeah.
Great movie. Old Cuzzy was fucking everything.
He's a weirdo. He came off very weird in the fucking movie. But Remy did a great job. He did a great job there.
He did. Incredible job. What else do we watch? We watched something else in there. Abducted in Plain Sight. I watched it at the house. We'll get to that. I saw you losing your mind last night.
Not fun.
We will talk about that. That B dude's one of the smoothest dudes. Worst human on earth. Smooth guy. We finally landed Honolulu.
Okay.
We landed Honolulu. We got a 2-hour delay to take a flight to the big island of Hawaii. So this was kind of the only downfall. So now we're 9-hour flight over there, 2 hours in Honolulu. Then we finally land at the big island, Hawaii, Four Seasons, Ho'olele, which is named after a volcano, which is right next door.
Love it.
By the way, fun fact about these volcanoes, they know where they're going to erupt at. So they know where they only erupt on ridges. On the ridges of the volcano.
On the fault line?
Until they don't. And that was what happened. That was what happened this last time. So the entire mountain is basically just filled with lava. So what's that thing? Creme brulee. Creme brulee. So you know how creme brulee, I didn't know what this meant. They were explaining it to me and Sam. Sam knew everything.
You explain things in terms of food. Zito gets it.
Well, yeah. So creme brulee is like filled up and then it kind of drops. So those volcanoes are only mountains because it's filled with lava. So like when the lava starts disappearing, the volcano starts getting flatter.
Really?
So in Hawaii, just a couple months ago when they were having that big thing, the lava was disappearing. And then normally it would go out like a ridge where they normally have these holes, and it wasn't. So the entire island was like, we have no idea where the fuck this is going. So they had like no clue where it was going, and then all of a sudden it showed up and just went through an entire fucking neighborhood. And did this. Yeah, so they kind of live and die with those volcanoes, but they very much respect it, obviously. The Hawaiian culture is an awesome one. I'm a huge fan. Big henna tattoo.
Yeah, looks good.
Thank you. I'm
the Caucasian Rock.
Thank you. Thank you. Operation Caucasian Rock back in full effect. I am going to get a foot. So we land there. I'm going to get a tattoo, by the way.
There we go.
Let's go.
I'm going to
It's
get
about time.
I don't know if you IG posted or tweeted about it, and you were spot on with, I don't know how you're going to sit there.
Yeah, it's an ADD marathon. It is a mental test because this henna took me 45 minutes. I had to get up 3 times. 3 times, like 20 minutes in, I was like, all right, I mean, we're good here. And then they had finished off. It's beautiful. But we finally get to the Four Seasons Hualalai, okay? And it's a beautiful place. And we have this incredible condo that's like right on the beach. It was beautiful. First day we get there, we just lay out, smoke some vitamins, have a good day. And then that next day, morning, 8 a.m., need to be in the lobby because we got a helicopter trip. This helicopter trip was offered to us via email from a lady named Stephanie who works at the Four Seasons. She was like our concierge. So she sends an email to Sam like the week before, like, hey, do we need to set anything up? So Sam, one night before we leave, I knew I was going to propose to Sam July on her birthday in our trip to the Bahamas. I was going to propose then. Then my mom was like, no, don't do it on her fucking birthday.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I was like, why? She's like, give her another holiday. Let's not just, because who knows what could happen here. Just don't do it on her. I'm like, okay, football season starts then, right? So then there's literally no other time. We're wild. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it at Christmas. So at Christmas, I was going to do it. I actually go and buy a ring at Christmas time. And then like right before going to pick it up, I see the ring and I'm like, it's not good enough ring. Can't do this. So I still have a ring.
Wait. That one.
I still have a ring at another jeweler. Still sitting there.
Is
right
it paid
now.
for?
Oh yeah, 100%.
He saw that Instagram post.
Not
He
good
saw that
enough.
Instagram
That's
post. Like, are you
hysterical.
fucking kidding me? McAfee's got this ring reserved
The
too?
other place? Yes.
Yeah.
You want me to go pick it up for you?
Yeah, well, we could negotiate a deal. I haven't seen the finished product. Okay, I haven't seen the complete finished product. I've just seen it pieced together. It's still sitting there, but I was going to do it in Christmas, and then like right before going to pick up the ring, I was like, it's not a good enough ring. I shouldn't do this. This isn't good. So we delay after Christmas. So now Sam is at the point where she doesn't think it's ever going to happen, right? She's like, well, I'm not going to get engaged. This is just the way it goes. I'm a known runner, too, by the way. I am a known runner. I mean, from long time.
You're really good at cutting ties.
Yeah, I've been blocking people since before Facebook for a long time now. So finally, this trip we plan like a month out. I'm like, hey, we're all taking a vacation. I was like, boom, here we go. This is the time to do it. I come straight out of Royal Rumble weekend in Phoenix to Atlanta, which was awesome, to now we got a vacation. It's like my first time to breathe. I'm like, this will be it. So a week in advance, we get an email from Stephanie, and she's like, what are some things you'd like to do? Here are some options. So in my head, I'm like, all right, I'll be excited for this. So Sam's communicating with this Stephanie lady and asking me questions about things she's agreeing to. Like, we got this breakfast set up, we got this, we got that. And then there was a helicopter option. And the helicopter options were 2. There was a cheaper one and a more expensive one. And Sam's like, we're not paying for that expensive one. I'm like, I am not going on the cheaper helicopter. I am not, right? Like, let's make sure we go on the right helicopter. And then she's explaining the helicopter trip, right? Sam is explaining the helicopter trip to me that is sent to me via the Stephanie lady. He's like, okay, you fly to coffee farm. You get to see the beans. Sam loves coffee. Then we'll do a tour around the island where you'll see volcanoes and waterfalls. I'm like, oh, boom, there it is. So Sam actually schedules this thing. So Sam is setting up the helicopter trip through this Stephanie lady.
She set up her own proposal.
She's setting it up and has no idea. So like 2 days before we leave, we get a heads up that's like, hey, it might rain a little bit and thing. Sam's like, we should cancel the helicopter. I'm like, no. Like, we are not. So I go and pick up this ring. And ring shopping was not easy. I already told you I bought one.
Wait, Hawaii or the mainland? You got the ring?
Here, Indiana.
Okay.
So I went to a couple different stores.
Okay.
I went to Tiffany, which I heard was a nice place.
they're
to
nice.
get some toffee.
She does a good job.
I don't know if it's. I don't know who she is, but they did not have the greatest selection. So they had this one ring that I liked a lot, but it was pink. It was like a pink diamond.
What are they doing?
What's
don't
her
wanna
name
do
just
that.
did that. You don't want to do that.
Color diamond.
I don't know anybody that does anything, but in my head, I'm like, I'm not risking this amount of cash for a pink one.
Firework.
Yeah.
So Katy Perry.
Katy Perry.
So I didn't know that. So
She got engaged after you.
Really?
She saw
Right
that you
after.
got engaged.
With a
she was
pink
like,
ring.
Orlando Bloom was like, better step up. Here we go.
Because he was naked on a paddleboard, and then they got engaged.
That never thought of it. Never thought of that. Went to Tiffany, went to a couple other places, and then I went to a place, Reese Nichols here in Indiana, okay? And this is not a free ad because they didn't give me anything. But I walked in, and the owner of the place, BJ, like as soon as I walk in, everybody's like heightened, you know? Like we had a couple fans in there. They're like, what is he doing in here? Everybody in there is like, oh, we know what this is
You
about.
did pay. You paid for this ad. I mean,
I did. I paid a lot of money. So the owner, BJ, who I had met before because they are a Colts sponsor, comes over. He's like, how's it going? What are you looking to do? I'm like, I think it's time, you know. And he's like, what are you looking for? I was like, I don't know. I need something that's just nice. And I need no color. He said, colorless, D1 or something like that. He starts mentioning all these diamond terms. I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck that means. But he takes me over to this one like side thing, gives me like I get my own little area. It was very nice. And he pulls out this one. I'm like, yep. That's the one right there. And he was like, okay, what size do you need? I was like, what does that even mean? He's like, what size do you think she is? I was like, I couldn't even fucking guess. So now I have to go have a conversation with Sam somehow to figure out what her ring size is, right? This is all happening like 72 hours before the flight to Hawaii. So everything's happening pretty quickly here. We're recording shit.
Yep.
I'm going to jewelry stores. I'm coming back. I got to play it cool with Sam, act like nothing's happening. So I finally get a ring size. It was a 5.
How did you get it?
It was I don't remember. It was some sort
tough,
of
man.
psychological impressive shit that I did though. I think I said something. She had a ring on. She wears like 3 rings on her right hand. She has like rings that mean something to her. And I somehow like got it off of her and like did like, this is like, I put it on my pinky.
Yeah,
I put it on my pinky and I was like, hey, this thing wouldn't even fit. And she was like, oh, it's a size 5 or whatever. You probably need it. I was like, whoa, fucking right. Everything's working out. So I go to BJ, I tell him the size, I pick it up. So now I have this very expensive ring on me. Okay. For this entire flight to Hawaii, I put it in my carry-on because I didn't want to put it underneath.
Smart, very smart.
So now, but she's like putting shit in my bag. And I got this ring in my bag. So, I mean, it was a lot of shit going on, right? So Sam books the flight. I get the ring. We get to the lobby at 8 a.m. And I'm getting a little nervous at this point, right? I'm starting to sweat a little bit. I'm like, Sam thinks it's because of the helicopter. I don't like helicopters, which true. Very true. But we got a lot going on. So we get in the plane, and I don't tell the helicopter people. I don't tell the Four Seasons people. Yeah. The only people I told was like, you guys, the people that were here, Diggs, the day you left, it all happened. I told my dad, told my parents. There's only a certain amount of people that knew. So we get on the goddamn helicopter, and this thing is beautiful, right? The guy flying us is a Army medic pilot.
Nice. They're the best ones.
Who was in Iraq and a couple other places.
Basically The Rock.
Yes. Real, though. Like, real. This guy's name was Dan Good Guy, right? From the island.
Last name Good Guy?
That's what I thought.
Christ.
That's a great name.
First hike after.
See you, Z.
Yeah, it was
Have
fun.
a good one.
It's a shame you're going to miss the end of this. So we get on the helicopter ride, and I thought we were going to go to the Kona coffee place because the Kona coffee is very popular coffee, and we were on the island of the Kona Island, right? Okay. So it's a Hawaii island, but Kona's in there. So we take off. We fly around, we see some shit, and we land at this coffee thing. It's the Ka'u coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
As soon as we landed, I was like, what the fuck are we here? What are we here for, right? So Sam's like, this will be fun. So we get this tour by this guy who's not really a tour guide, but he was nice. He worked there.
Good guy?
Yeah, he was all right. He was a good guy. Good guy. But he was not his last name. He was just actually a good guy.
That was his brother.
He's pointing at these beans that are growing, and he's like, in a couple months, these will all be red, and that's the coffee. I'm like,
okay.
Oh, awesome. and then we walk to this little thing where they're just laying on the ground. He's like, this is where they get filtered and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, really cool stuff. Yeah. And then we go into like this little shed, which is their like
drying room.
No, that was on the other side. The shed was like a sample place for gift shop. This is so they can get money out of you on the way out. And they did. I mean, macadamia nuts, which are from the island there.
Good, though.
Wasabi macadamia nuts are incredible. There was a bunch of their coffees sampling it. Sam loves. Then there's little buzz beans is what they call them, where they put chocolate on a coffee bean. And I'm just popping like 100 of those.
Those are delicious.
Yeah, little buzz beans. They were pretty good. But we're there for 45 minutes. And in the back of my head, I'm like, we got to get the fuck out of here. I mean, there's a lot going on. I actually record a video while taking a piss at that place. That's like, I think we're like an hour out from the engagement, blah, blah, blah. But my piss is so strong in the background. I couldn't post the video. So I showed it to Sam. We get back in the helicopter. We take off. Now we're flying to like the rainforest. So the island of Hawaii, the big island, has 11 of the 13 climate zones on it. Just on that one island. So where our hotel was considered a desert because it only rains like a certain amount of days. And then on the other side of the volcano, there's a rainforest. Then there's like everything. There's 11 different climate zones on this one island. So we're flying around. We go over top of a fucking active volcano. I'm like, should we be? It's pretty hot, you know? Like, there's some shit there. We're flying over top of it. Dan's like barrel rolling us over top. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And if every helicopter was like that, by the way, I'm back on a helicopter train. This thing was like
Was it smooth?
Oh.
Because it was
It looked
so big,
like the
right?
one
It was a monster.
straight out of Jurassic Park. It was an InGen helicopter.
Yeah,
for sure.
smooth. It was comfortable. I had my legs out. I'm back on the helicopter train. Back all the way. We were flying about 20 minutes before the engagement happens. I put on a little mic. Dan, how much is one of these? And Sam goes, of course. I'm like, Dan, how much is one of these? Used or brand new? I'm like, used for sure. He's like, probably get this one for like 1.8, 2 million. I'm like, all right, okay. New goals. All right, we're in a good spot. So we fly around and we get to this part where it was Avatar. It was fucking Avatar. We flew into this valley, and there's these huge just cliffs all around, green cliffs though, so it's not like rocky. It's like a rainforest. There was 45 waterfalls, like 1,000-foot waterfalls just falling. It was amazing. So he's just flying into these nooks in the middle of these valleys, and like we're probably 15 feet away from this waterfall falling. It's just like amazing, majestic. I'm looking around, I'm like, holy shit, this is crazy. So I'm like, are we stopping at a waterfall? And he was like, no, we're not. We'll be near one though. I was like, yeah, but like how close, right? Because in my head, I'm like, we're doing it. Yeah. He's like, oh, you'll see or something. So Dan's like fucking with me because Dan doesn't know that I'm getting proposed to. So then he flies out of the one nook, barrels up over around this other side, and there's a bunch of brown water, I guess, in the ocean. He's like, oh, brown water's good. That means all these shoreline waterfalls are about to be good. And I was like, okay. And then lo and behold, it was fresh out of a movie. It was like these waterfalls were just like huge, just running down it. And then he starts just going straight at one of the waterfalls. And I'm like, we're getting awfully close to this fucking waterfall. And he turns that thing sideways and just parks it on like this little chunk of land that you guys saw. And he goes, is this close enough, Pat? I'm like, oh, Jesus. Yeah. So we get out of there and we start hiking. There's like a little rock we had to get to the bottom of the waterfall. And we hike back and it starts getting a little chilly. Like it was a little bit cold, which I did not expect. I did not expect it. And Dan's like, I'll take a picture of you guys when you get down there. I'm like, cool. So Dan stops at like a picture point. We had to hike a little bit. We had to go under some trees and shit like that. And Sam walks ahead of me, and I look at Dan. I'm going, yo, I'm about to propose right now. He's like, what? I'm like, yo, I'm about to propose right now. He was like, okay, all right. I was like, Dan, you got it, man. He's like, yeah. So we walk down, we get all the way down there, and it is raining on us. It is cold as a motherfucker, right? And I'm like, Sam, let's take a picture, So we take a picture, and he does like the pano, but he does it up. And then Dan, I know Dan's like, when's this guy going to do this thing? So then Sam's like, oh, I want one of us kissing. And I'm like, just wait a second. She grabs my head. At the time, I'm pulling the ring out of my back pocket, right? So Sam grabs my head. It's in Sam's video. She's grabbing my head to like kiss me so we can get a picture, and I'm pulling the ring out, and I'm holding that thing like.
Oh yeah.
I have never.
So you didn't have it in a case?
No. Fresh out of the
McAfee move.
Fresh out of the back pocket, and I was just holding on to it as tight. I don't think I've ever held something.
You've been sitting on this the whole time too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Geez.
Yeah.
You've held a kick in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And you probably held that ring.
Yes.
So goddamn tight.
Bro, there was water. It was a waterfall. I mean, it was. If I drop that thing,
cold.
It's gone, and it's colorless. By the way, it is colorless. So I have it there, and I try to find like a spot that would go down. I'm in some lava, like some fucking rocky lava, raining on me. As soon as I get to her knees, she slaps me. I don't know if you saw it. She's like, "Stop fucking with me," and I was like, "No, Sam." I'm like, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I look over at the man, Dan, and Dan's like excited. He's like, "Here we go." And I do the whole thing, you know. I tell her like, I would like to spend forever with you. I don't think I could see a day in my life without you. It's kind of got to that point. I've been this way for a few months. Will you marry me? And she goes, "Is this fucking real?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I pulled the ring up on the side, and she looks at it, and I put it on. It slides on perfectly.
Nice.
I'm like, "Oh, perfect sizing, good for me." And then we kiss. The whole thing happens, and then we walk past Dan, and Dan was like, "Holy shit! I was nervous that I was gonna fuck that up. You know, you could have told us ahead of time. We would have got you some stuff." I was like, "I didn't really know that long in advance, to be honest." She kind of set this whole thing up, and he was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, don't worry about it." He was like, "I'm gonna set up a picnic for you guys. You guys do whatever you need to do." And Sam goes, "We don't smoke weed here." And he's like, "Yeah, do whatever you guys need to do." So it was just a cool moment. It was a really, really cool moment. We sit down, have the picnic in front of the helicopter with a waterfall. It was unbelievable. And then
Nice.
it was headline fucking news in 5 states.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was outrageous.
I mean, I don't know how you top that.
Well, in my head, though, headline news. Indiana, it was headline news. Pittsburgh, it was headline news.
What do you mean? Like it was in the papers?
Oh yeah.
No, on TV.
On TV.
I went to my parents yesterday, and they're like, "Oh, how about Pat getting engaged?" And
I
I
had no
know they're
idea.
not on social media. I'm like, "How do you know about that?" And they're like, "It was on the evening news."
Yeah, I'm like, what? It was on the evening news in Arkansas. I have no idea why.
John.
John Daly.
Well, I'm just starting to, and in my head, I'm like, the news people are like, "Oh, yeah, somebody committed to Pat McAfee for this. This is fucking breaking news." So it obviously took off, got a lot of very positive words. We're very thankful. Thank you so much. And then the rest of the trip, we just kind of hung out, ate a bunch of food, got some tattoos, saw the island a little bit. And it was beautiful. It was a magical, magical moment. As soon as we landed in Indiana, as soon as we got back in Indiana, it was like, while we're walking through the airport, we got like 10 people all coming up like, "Congrats, cuzzo." Sam. Like 10 people congratulated me while Sam's walking with me and didn't say a single word. So like every time they would give me like, as soon as we landed, literally as soon as we're walking through the airport, everybody's like, "Oh, like congrats, Pat." I'm like, "Thank you too, Sam." Thank you so much. It was a cool
Did you have
moment.
the conversation, chicken or steak? What color is the tablecloths and all that? Yet?
Bro.
You there yet?
Bro,
She put on her story day one.
day fucking one, bro. I had no idea.
Wedding recommendations day one.
I tell you what, I had no idea I was signing up for wedding planning. I had no idea because in my head we're getting engaged. It's a celebration. We love each other. What I didn't think about was what happens directly after.
That's just how they work, man. My mom came up to me. She goes, "Hey, is Pat gonna have a big wedding?" Or I'm like, "How do I know? He got engaged yesterday."
Dude, you have no idea.
Can we have an Avatar wedding?
We're fucking Barnes and Noble. I was in a Barnes and Noble. Have you ever been to a Barnes and Noble?
For books? I got coffee one time because there was a Starbucks in one. I was walking by.
It's the internet come to life. It's like the internet in hard copy. I've never been in there.
What were you doing in there?
Wedding magazines. We need Sam.
They're
need
not
to get
on the internet?
That's what I said. But no. It's a lot better in person, I guess. I
Sure,
refuse.
Pinterest has a whole fucking section.
Oh, I've already learned that Pinterest is going to be the death of me for this fucking one.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a lot of decisions to be made. I'm excited not to make many of them.
Yeah.
But she was already hitting up the Stephanie lady about how expensive it is to do a wedding at the Four Seasons.
There you go.
It's a bit pricey.
That is a good way to keep the wedding small, though.
There's a lot of conversations here to be had, like who's allowed to come, who's not allowed to come.
Right.
My mom and dad are already asking me like who they're allowed to invite, who they're not allowed to invite.
A little bit.
A little bit has to come.
A little bit set Sam congrats.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, she knows what's up.
Little
Yeah,
bit.
she knows what's online.
A little bit knows that she wants to get to that wedding. I want a little bit at the wedding. Make her a flower girl. So it was awesome, though. I did not expect the headline news thing, though. That was very interesting to me.
I think that's a sign that you've made it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like it was a big setup for people to start bashing me. And it didn't happen. Very thankful. Very, very thankful. Sam is cool as fuck, though. I mean, she is somebody. Dealing with me is tough. It is. I'm a very tough tough. I mean, there's times where I don't want to even be with me. You know what I mean? Like there's times where I get sick of me. I'm on a very regular basis. I'm like, I look in the mirror and I'm like, yo, okay, is there any way we could hang out with somebody else?